Welcome back to Coast Files, our podcast for ocean mysteries and true crime. I'm Chantel.
I'm Lindsay. And I'm Megan.
Hello again, everybody. I just saw you, but it's a
What
brand
do
new
you
day.
Yeah, it's a totally different day.
Totally
But
different
it's still
week.
Shark Month.
Mhm. It is our final shark episode. Well, not like forever, but like for this series, I'm sure we're going to have many more shark related things. So
It's always
that's
Shark
fine.
Week in my heart, always.
Yeah. I do love sharks, so that's fair. So today's episode is sharks.
Yeah. Woo!
I'm
Sharks
gonna
on
go
sharks
into,
on sharks.
It is sharks on sharks on sharks. We're
There's
gonna
gonna be baby
go
sharks. Oh.
we are definitely going to talk about some baby
And mama
sharks.
sharks?
So,
Okay.
oh yes,
Lindsay, I think
and,
I
and
see
some
what you're
grandpa
getting at.
sharks. Definitely some grandpa and grandma sharks you'll see as well. So yeah,
And then we're going to run away or swim away.
so some way,
Yeah.
it's
You have to go hunt
It's not going to
first,
make
thanks.
sense by the end
Sorry.
of it anymore, basically. Okay, so I obviously have a fondness for sharks. I have what I like to believe is a healthy fear as well as a reckless abandon when it comes to them. But
Those don't really go together to
No.
me personally, but
no. Well, we're going to learn about the good, the bad, and the ugly for sharks, like
I'm pumped.
the movie.
okay.
Um,
I've never seen that movie, but that is on my list, like a
Oh, it's so
classic
good.
westerns. I know.
It's a
It's on
good
my
one.
list. It's on my
Yeah,
list.
okay.
Okay.
can you guys might know already. I can't remember if we said it in the last two episodes, but do you guys know how long sharks have actually been around for?
A long time. Like they are
100 million years. Oh wait, we already said 200 million years.
23
300
million.
million years.
23 million years.
450 million years
What the
since
heck?
the
Damn.
late Ordovician period. This means that they predate all
Oh.
land animals, even dinosaurs, trees, and insects.
Okay. Older than trees, I've heard. Older
That's
than
crazy.
insects? That doesn't make any sense
Yes.
to me. A layman.
Yeah. So sharks have been around, to say the least.
Man, they know what's going on.
Yeah. While, as we talked about in the last episode, it's difficult to find some of these species because of they are a cartilaginous fish, so they don't fossilize in the same way. We have from incomplete fossils that they've been around since 450 million years. So this can be something as simple as a, shark scale that they found. The first intact skeleton was from a species called the Doliodus problematicus. And that is the next picture there.
Best name.
I know. Can you guys guess where this fossil was found?
Okay, I'm looking at the fossil. Give me a moment, please. Everyone, please hold. Based on your excited nature, I'm going to say Nova Scotia.
Close.
Okay.
Okay.
New
I mean,
Brunswick.
it's
It's a place
Canada.
by
Yeah, New Brunswick.
the water. Okay.
Yeah. So it's New Brunswick's actually, they have a lot of fossils that they found in there.
That's
And there's
cool.
like these huge areas that you can go to. Yeah.
Is it like because of like the kind of like clay sand that you have? I feel like that'd be really good like sandwich stuff for fossils.
I'm not sure why, to be honest.
Yeah,
I
'cause
looked
it's by
Tune
the
into
Bay
a
of
future
Fundy.
episode to learn.
There's we talked about it before, I think, the fossil air, like Parsboro, Nova Scotia has a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah, okay.
fossils and yeah.
Wow, well, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
So this, yes, from New Brunswick, Canada. This one is from the Lower Devonian period. So this is about 400 million years old.
I was going to say, that's what it looks like. Yeah.
And the next photo is just like a drawing representation of what they, what it would have looked like. So
Okay.
pretty like
I'm always
salamander-ish.
Yeah, I'm impressed by when they see a fossil and they're like, and this what I think it looked like. I'm like, how did you get that
Yeah.
from this?
Okay, so
Yeah.
kind of on that note, and this is sort of off topic, but so now they're saying that dinosaurs likely had feathers. How do you feel about that?
I'm okay with it.
It goes
'cause
against
it
everything
makes
that I
sense.
believed in, so I'm just a little bit upset about it. But if they had feathers, they had feathers.
I mean, it doesn't. If you think about Jurassic Park, Alan said that dinosaurs are very much bird-like, and he says, the velociraptor has, the bones have the holes like a bird.
The hollow bones, yeah.
Yeah, and so then the feathers, like I can see how that would all be connected, but if they don't look reptilian, I have a hard time envisioning how a feathered dinosaur would look. But
why they have feathers if they couldn't fly? I know some could fly, some dinosaurs, but if they couldn't fly, then what would be the purpose of the feathers?
Yeah, that's interesting too, because like ostrich, they have feathers. They don't fly.
Yeah.
They can kind of like
I mean, they could have
you guys
evolved
heard
from
that,
flying to not flying.
yeah, maybe.
Have you guys heard that there's like a recording of what they actually assume a T-Rex sounds like, and it is horrifying.
Okay, I'm not
like,
even kidding.
Horrifying.
You saying that gave me chills just now because I heard it and I was like, okay, number one, to see a
Can
T-Rex,
we play
I would
that
just die
in our
already.
podcast? The sound effect,
maybe I could
after?
probably find
insert
it. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, we'll insert it in.
Yeah, because it's
okay. Well, first, what we should do, we should play the T-Rex as Spielberg envisioned it, because that's scary too. So play how we grew up hearing a T-Rex, and then play the real one. And oh my god, I'm getting chills. The real one, it's such a
it's horrifying.
I've heard nothing like it ever.
Yeah.
So it's just the scariest sound. Back to this cute fish shark guy.
Yeah, so he kind of looks like a weird salamander type thing. So the only real bony parts of a shark that like could be fossilized are their teeth. Yes, as we discussed last week.
Yeah.
But it's actually thought that most prehistoric sharks didn't have teeth, and that some of them might not even have had mouths. So that's another reason why it could have been difficult for them to find certain things. They would have been primarily like filter feeders.
Oh, kind of like the basking shark.
Yeah. So it's like there's a lot of, obviously we know like parts of things, but not all of things, and we kind of got to fill in the blanks sometimes. But anyways, one genus of shark that took a more form like modern day sharks was from 380 million years ago. This is the next photo, and they are called the Antarctilomana.
Nailed it.
Yeah, that's how you say it. This genus is now extinct, but you can see they're starting to kind of get more of that form. The tail still looks a bit like a tadpole, but they got the dorsal fin, they have the back fin, they have the two pectoral fins. So they're starting to get a little bit more shark-like here.
It definitely looks a little more fishy than shark, but it looks like it looks like a fish-inspired shark.
Yes. So if you go to the next one, this is called a Cladocelash shark genus.
Well,
which is
cute.
considered to be the first true shark. Kind of looks more like a mako shark almost. It's got some extra like fins going on there.
Guys, this guy is best friends. He is best friends with that fish that is going to babysit Lindsay's kids.
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
he definitely is. He looks like
they are like
cousins.
roommates, or maybe they're like long-term partners, but he has the same like sweetheart energy. And yeah, he has like a little horn. He has two little horns actually.
So this guy,
I have to have more on the
actually
babysitter list.
That's true. You got to have
you
a
need
backup.
to have a roster.
Backups, yeah.
So this guy actually was pretty fragile because, like you just said, Megan, he looks more like a fish. Yes, emotionally. They did not have scales like what sharks do today. They had more of skin, which is another reason why some of these fossils were hard to find, because some of them didn't even have scales. So they were kind of missing that armor. And also they have more of like a fish-shaped head, and they have 7 gills, which most sharks today only have 5. There are a few that outlie that, but most only have 5 today. So the golden age of sharks was during what was called the Carboniferous period, which was approximately 359 million years ago. And this was when sharks dominated the seas in various shapes and sizes. There was an extinction period that occurred during the end of the Devonian period and killed 75% of all species on Earth. Sharks survived.
Whoa.
Then they survived yet another near mass extinction during the Permian period from 252 million years ago, and this took out 96% of marine life. Some sharks still survived.
Holy crap.
During the Cretaceous period, 145 to 66 million years ago, another mass extinction happened. You might have heard of it, the one with the asteroid. This is the 5th extinction to happen. During this one, all non-avian dinosaurs were killed, but some sharks still stuck around.
Man, sharks.
Primarily, they were smaller species. But yeah, these guys were just
sharks
like...
they're meant to live, man.
Yeah. So they began to evolve and grow again from the smaller species that survived over the next 43 million years during the Paleogene period. And this is when the Megalodon and the great white ancestors appeared. So like Megan said before, they thought that the great whites were related to the Megalodon. They've now found out that they aren't.
I could see, during my I could see your face going like, but actually,
I know the answer.
And then I covered it. You're like,
I was like, yes, get there. Okay, good. She got there.
You are definitely more of the ocean science person, but I'm like, but I know that this is right because I saw it multiple times. So I could see your face. I'm like, just wait.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I didn't interrupt. I'm like, I'm gonna give her time. She'll
give her
get
a
there.
chance.
Yeah,
she'll fuck up on her own.
So there are obviously a ton of prehistoric sharks that we could talk about, and most of them are absolutely fascinating. But I'm just gonna cover 2 because these were the ones that I liked the most.
And it's your podcast, so
and this is my episode, so I get to do what I want. Yeah. So this next one you can go and look at is called the buzzsaw shark, also known as Helicoprion. They lived.
I like buzzsaw shark.
Yeah, me too. And it's very, very fitting.
They almost look like a swordfish, but like with a real fucked up lower jaw, which I'll even describe. Yeah, you'll see in a second kind of what's going on there. I'll describe it a bit more, but it looks, for those listening, like they have this major bump in the front, with like teeth coming out the front and the back, and it's just all kinds of weird.
There's a lot going on, but it definitely does look like a swordfish.
So this shark is the first sharks to have the ability to lose and regrow their teeth.
Oh.
So this ability is what makes sharks the largest and most successful marine predators. So this guy was kind of like the start of making sharks awesome.
He's like the Wolverine of sharks.
Yeah.
You know what? He would love that title, I'm sure. He's like, Wolverine, high praise.
Yeah. So modern day sharks, their teeth fall out and they grow new ones. But with this guy, you can actually go to the next one because you can see a fossil there. This was a picture that I took at the ROM. So that's the fossil of what it looks like on the inside. It literally looks like a spiral. So what would happen is that rather than their teeth falling out like modern day sharks do, they would grow in this circular motion. So those teeth in the center are actually their baby teeth, creating what is called like
like a roll of toilet paper. Keep coming.
Exactly. So it's
That's
creating
a really
what's
bad
called
visual. Like a roll of toilet paper, but it's just teeth, and the teeth just get bigger. Oh my god!
Do not use toilet paper at Lindsay's place. It is not safe.
I promise I have the soft stuff.
Triple ply.
So they call this a tooth whorl. But with a O. Yeah. A whorl.
A whorl.
Okay. A whorl.
Say
so yeah,
what way?
If you go to the ROM, there's all kinds of fascinating stuff.
What is the ROM?
Oh,
for
sorry,
non-Toronto listeners?
Non-Toronto listeners. It's the Royal Ontario Museum, and they have this whole one. I think I talked about it before when I had the whale fall picture.
Yeah.
They just have this whole like how life started, and they obviously have a lot on sharks because sharks have been around for so long. So it was really cool to go there. And if you can see on the side there, you can see how there's different hypotheses throughout the years of where they thought this might have been placed. In 1899, they thought it was on the top of the snout and grew outwards. In 1911, they hypothesized it was on the dorsal fin, which is
that
crazy.
was dumb. That guy got fired.
Though, like, yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, man. Like, what if the teeth are on like their back, man? And that guy was fired.
And then it was just in 1995 that they started thinking, okay, it must have been lower jaw, but they thought it went outwards instead of inwards, like growing into their mouth. So, I mean, that maybe a little closer, but still, like, what was that mouth doing?
It is embarrassingly stupid.
That would make sense, though. I like to grow outwards first in. Like, you don't want all these teeth piling up inside.
But if you look at it, if they put it that way, then the teeth would be shaped in like a very odd way rather than like going inwards towards the mouth. They'd be going outwards. So,
well, remember we talked about how
well, that's what I was gonna say.
Most sharks, the teeth are very, very sharp, but they're angled inward and they're all serrated. So it's kind of like once, it's like those like little Chinese finger traps. Like once something goes in, it's really hard for it to come out. And if it does, it's at its own demise. It tears out.
So anyways, I guess it kind of makes sense where they've put it now.
At least they figured it out. Only took like 100 years, but they got there.
It's only pretty recent that we figured out that it was probably inside the mouth altogether.
Oh, Jesus. I'm sad for us.
Yeah. So the next one.
So it is rolling into the mouth? I thought
into the mouth. So like growing into the jaw. It's like growing into the jaw, and the center is all the baby teeth, like in the center of their bottom jaw, basically. In like this.
Okay. And does it get like compressed? Like how does it? Because eventually wouldn't it get big?
I mean, by looking at the photo, it doesn't look like it gets compressed. Maybe it does, or it's just that's how they would grow in size as it grew in size.
And maybe the body like reabsorbs to some degree. I don't know.
You could ask them.
It seems like very like impractical. I feel like it would be to just lose our teeth and like,
Well, I guess that's why they started going that way. They were like, wait, this hurts after a while. We're dying from infections.
And whoever is playing this game of the
evolution
Sims that's creating life was like, let me redesign this shark because this is not working out.
Yeah. You need a brand update over here.
Yeah.
That's right. I have a couple patches to upload.
Yeah, there we go. Which this is episode 21. We might be doing a little update right now. You might have noticed for something.
Oh, yeah. Actually, yes. So as of this episode, we have a nice, refreshed, little spookier, little more classy looking. Yeah. I think it is anyway. If you hate it, don't tell us. We're going to cry.
Yeah.
Unless if you hate it, then really you better come with amazing suggestions that are like,
you better start working for us
ready
for
to
free.
blow us away. Yeah, exactly. We want free marketing, branding, and that's the only way.
We will pay you in compliments.
Stop criticism.
So let's go on to this next one. This is the last prehistoric shark that I'm going to talk about. This is called the Anvil shark, which I think you can see where it gets its name from. So for those listening, the dorsal fin looks like an ironing board / anvil.
You know what it reminds me of? The keel on a boat, how it goes straight down, but it's on the top. Yeah. Like there are not even the keel. There's some like catamaran boats or whatever that have that exact shape, but it's upside down and it's to help with balance. And
it also kind of looks like the thing that you tie the rope to on the dock.
Yeah, which is a something. Insert the word here.
Yeah, don't know.
I don't know what it's called, but you know what it is.
Yeah. So these guys lived about 360 to 340 million years ago.
Wow.
On top of this anvil and on the front part of their head is what's called enlarged denticles, which on modern day sharks, they are covered in microscopic denticles all over their body. This is what acts as their armor on their scales. And denticles is made up the same material as human teeth, the dentine that is right underneath the enamel layer.
That's very, very cool.
Yeah.
So these are visible, whereas on modern day sharks,
they're microscopic. Yeah.
That's so neat.
Yeah. So another cool little like evolution thing there. And
P.S. Evolution's a real thing. If you don't believe that, we're probably not the podcast for you. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, fair. And a little just last fun fact to end this out. Sharks, skates, rays, and something called chimeras all come from common ancestors of sharks. They just broke off at different periods throughout evolution.
Oh, did you say rays as in like manta ray?
Manta rays, stingrays, yeah.
A manta ray kind of looks like if you were to get a rolling pin and flatten out a shark.
Yes.
So I can kind of see that. I can see that. That's neat. I love science. I'm not
so
great at it, but I love it.
I love when Chantel tells me about it.
Yes, me too. It's my favorite way.
I do really love it. I'm like here and I'm like researching, and like every day I'm going to Vadim. I'm like, Vadim, this is so exciting. I love this part of this. He's like, I'm really loving what you're doing. Like,
I mean, I also go to Chantel for all my medical questions too. Yeah, for my head stuff. I see a doctor too, but like I'm gonna ask Chantel.
She doesn't
first,
just rely on me.
Then when I go to my doctor, I'll have all this extra knowledge.
And I feel like Chantel walks that line to be like, here's actual science. She's like, but actually, this crystal is also really good. If you want to try the crystal.
I know that's true. You're like also like get a crystal.
Also,
I'm like,
here's a spell. You need lavender. You need
get your girl that can do both.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, so next we're gonna get into the reproduction of sharks, because girls, this is fucking wild. Okay,
when two sharks love each other very much, they aggressively attack each other. Probably
there is blood everywhere.
Gross.
So sharks reproduce in
I'm
different
just thinking
ways.
about like so someone's like first time and you know. Just makes me like, oh.
So sharks don't have sex for fun, right?
No, not like dolphins.
Dolphins have sex whenever they want, and they're problematic, and they should be canceled.
Yes. Actually, I was watching this thing recently, and she was a professional diver who went on these like dives, and she was like, yeah, sharks are scary. She goes, but do you know what's scarier? She goes, dolphins. She was like, we were given all these things, how to tell when a shark is mad, how to tell by their pectoral fins and which way they're going, like are they being aggressive or are they just like wandering around type thing. She's like, but we were told if there are dolphins in the area and you hear dolphins, you drop everything that you're doing and you get out of there. They were like, we don't care if you get the bends, you get out of the water immediately if there's dolphins around. I was like,
is it because it's a pack of dolphins? It's like
apparently they just come in and they just fuck shit up.
And they're, you know what? They're actually kind of
troublemakers,
like sociopaths. Yeah. They're like laughing while they do it. Like, they love it. They're crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reproduction.
Just to know, we should do a dolphin episode because I would be very interested. Chantel, that's like I'm going to ask you to do it. Can you just tell us?
I can do a dolphin episode. Okay. No problem.
Damn.
So sharks reproduce in different ways depending on the breed. So they are both viviparous,
alive.
Wait, viviparous. I practiced this word like 10 times.
You can do it. We're ready.
Viviparous.
To be honest, I don't know if you're saying it right or wrong.
Viviparous and oviparous. So live birth, lay eggs. Oviparous sharks make up only about 40% of sharks and tend to be smaller species.
Aww.
Like, you can go to the next photo. This is called a harlequin cat shark. The one after this is called a long-tailed carpet shark. I think both of those kind of almost resemble loaches to me, if you guys know what loaches look like.
I do not.
They got these cool little we used to have loaches in our fish tank when I was a kid.
They do look more like fish-like, and they are so cute.
They're very, very little, and they got like these cool stripes or spots on them.
It's like it could be like your pet or something.
Yeah, it could be a pet. Yeah, like one of those massive fish tanks.
Mm-hmm. And another one that lays eggs is called the bullhead shark, which is the next one there. So a little bit bigger than those small ones. They got these cute little polka dots all over them. They have a blunt head, kind of like a bull shark.
So cute.
Yeah, so these are all ones that lay eggs.
Him.
Okay. Now, just to confuse you a little bit, though, even though I know that I said the long-tailed carpet shark lays eggs, there's also some species of carpet sharks that give birth to live birth as well. Yeah. Great. So these sharks typically do not rear their young, as I'm assuming you probably could have guessed since there's laying eggs.
Easy peasy.
Yeah. There's in and out.
You guys good? Okay, bye, I'm out.
Yeah. There are benefits to this type of reproduction. It does not cost the mother nearly as much energy to produce and lay eggs as it would to carry a pup to full term. It also means that they are ready to mate again quicker and lay more eggs, which is great considering that they are relying and hoping, like on a hope and a prayer, for the eggs to safely get to adulthood. So they're just like, let's just keep doing this.
She's in her hoe era.
Reproduce. Yes. And I know you both know this, but for the listeners who may not, the eggs are adorably nicknamed a mermaid purse.
Which I think is so precious.
Yes.
So precious.
But these purses, did you know, come in different shapes and sizes.
I did know, because I saw a photo and I was like, that's not a mermaid purse. And they go, yes, it is. I'm like,
yes,
then I guess there's more than one. The photo that I'm looking at now is the one that I recognize most.
So this first one looks almost like a seaweed pouch to me with like hooks on either ends. Like it looks like a piece of seaweed that you would find. And what
like
it
air
does,
bubble.
Yeah,
this is what
it does is
normally, like when I think of a mermaid purse, this is
exactly
the typical one.
So this guy, will hook into different places. It'll hook onto coral, onto seaweed, onto other plants, kind of like hides in plain sight, as well as like gets into areas but it's harder for other things to get at. And I read that this can be made up of different, like it can either be made up of the same stuff as like hair and nails, and then also some of them are kind of like leathery too.
Okay.
The next one is the weird shape. It's kind of like a corkscrew. This is also a mermaid purse.
Oh, wow.
So bullhead sharks give birth to these, and they wedge them in rocks to help protect them from giant waves and from predators being able to get at them. So for those listening, I mean, I think you can get the shape of it, corkscrew. It's like a corkscrew, but it's like got this egg that the corkscrew is around in the middle. So
it's nothing that I would think could be created in nature, like in a natural way. Like a corkscrew to me is not a very natural green shape, and yet here we are.
You can buy these online, dried too, like old ones that sharks have.
How many do you have?
Protective, I imagine. Like that design is very protective from creatures trying to eat
because
it.
It can, from eating, and as well, like I said, it can wedge itself into these rocks, so it's just like able to help that way.
So when the shark is giving birth, and maybe you don't cover this, but is the shark aware of like, oh, I'm about ready to lay an egg, and so they will position themselves, or is it
some of them go to certain areas,
hide it, like they use
some
their
of them
nose
go
to
to
hide
certain areas to like we're able to actually hide, from what I read. It just depends on the species of shark. Like all of them kind of act differently. I don't think it's
like they don't have hands. So
well,
like, how are they?
Even like fish, right? Like they'll go to certain areas and lay all their eggs in one area. Like they kind of know they know what to do.
And somehow, like so many animals know about mating seasons. They know where to, like what waters to go to or what land to go to. So I think they do know, or like
animals are just so fascinating. The fact that they can like sense, oh, it's time, and like all these like mass migrations. I find that fascinating.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So next is viviparity, which makes up about 20% of the shark species.
So cute and tiny.
The protective yolk sac is absorbed by the embryo and turns into what is called a yolk stalk, which is what you see there kind of like coming out of the umbilical area of the shark.
That's how I would describe it.
So the yolk stalk then attaches itself to the mother's uterine wall, and it acts slightly like an umbilical cord. Although it's not attached to the mother's bloodstream, it is being fed by the placenta yolk stalk to its midbelly. So for those listening, it looks like a slightly deflated balloon attached to a belly button of a shark, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what it looks like.
So there's no photos of these guys because we're going to get more into these guys later. But sharks that do this are bull sharks and hammerhead sharks. And this way of breeding can be very costly to the mother, as it uses a lot of energy to nourish the young. And they have a longer refractory period between pregnancies. But the young have a very high survival chance because of the size and strength of them once they are born.
Okay.
So now you may ask, where's the other 40% of sharks? Because Chantel, we only talked about 60% of sharks so far.
I mean, you asked the question for us. Yeah, I was going to ask you.
Yeah, that's exactly the question I was thinking.
I knew it. So I thought I'd get ahead of you guys. Just to confuse you more, there's this lovely little middle ground.
This is the second time you have confused us.
There's this lovely little middle ground called Ovoviviparous.
Well, that sounds contradictory because
I was just going to ask about that.
Yeah, I knew it. This means
tip of her tongue.
That the mother shark keeps her baby pups in the eggs inside, and they attach inside of her and continue to grow inside and are nourished through the remaining yolk sac after they come out of it. So they're in the eggs inside the womb. They hatch out of the womb, and then they continue to be nourished by the yolk sac from the eggs inside. In some cases, the mother continues to produce other eggs that the sharks will then feed on, the baby sharks.
I was going to say, because it's like, extra dinner, dessert.
Yeah.
You're eating your siblings, though.
Yeah, that's right.
No, because they're not
fertilized.
They're not fertilized. She's just creating more eggs as food.
Okay, then good protein. I take it
as in like eggs Benny, eggs Florentine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. In some cases, the mother. Oh, sorry, I already said that. She will then give birth to.
How dare you repeat yourself? I couldn't even speak half of the words in my episode, so.
So she will then give birth to live pups, and this takes a lot out of the mother and requires like a ton of energy to continue to create these eggs. So once again, this is taking a lot out of the mom. They'll have a longer period in between giving birth, but like stronger sharks. These sharks include, go to the next one. This is called an angel shark.
Ooh.
Which, fun little fact, the day this episode is released is International Angel Shark Day.
No way.
This is the yellowish shark. I'm on the right.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
International Angel Shark Day. Yeah, so it kind of looks like
Angel Shark Day, everybody.
It kind of looks like a mix between a stingray and a shark. To me. Yeah. Another one that does this is the frilled shark. You might remember this.
Wait,
from the
are you
Mariana Trench.
reusing a photo?
I am.
Hold the phone. Yeah, I hate this. This is like a demon shark. I'm a huge Alien fan, like the movie saga Alien, and this is giving me like this would be on those planets. Gray, scary, right? Its teeth is very cool. It's like a bunch of little coral pieces.
Yes,
for teeth.
You said that last time. You said that exact
I still believe it, and I stand by
I said it last time, so Megan said it this time. Now
okay, there we go. Sorry, somebody said it last time.
We just really feel strongly
I
about
was
the coral
actually, yeah. And it also looks like tiny little pineapple spikies too.
Oh, yes, it does.
Oh, I can see that. And then also cow sharks do this. Cow sharks are kind of cool.
He's so cute.
So they don't have
friendly.
Yeah, they don't have a dorsal fin like a regular shark does.
Yeah, they're missing it.
They have a bone structure that's more primitive than most, so they have not evolved much over millions of years. They have an extra gill and mainly live on the ground in the deeps, and they only go into shallow waters to mate.
Listen, if they're already perfect, there's no need to evolve. Like, they're done.
And they have some of the oldest family lineage at 190 million years.
Okay, these guys are cool. They're called cow sharks?
Cow
Why?
sharks.
Like, where does the
Great
cow come
question.
into
I
play?
think because they're like grazing on the bottom.
Aw.
Okay.
Wait,
because I was kind of expecting
sea cow.
spots to have.
Yeah, so
I know, right? Sorry.
Yeah.
Well,
and then
he
the next
looks
shark
cute.
you might recognize here. This is a big old prego one. This is the great white shark.
Wow.
This is actually one of the largest.
Very compact looking.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just kind of the photo. So this is one of the largest great white sharks that is known. Like she a big one.
This actual shark
one.
itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is actually somebody that I've followed on Instagram for a long time, and you guys have definitely seen some videos of her. Her name is Ocean Ramsey, and she does shark diving. She's part of this company in Hawaii that takes people out on shark diving. Like if I was ever doing it, I'd want to do it with her. To be honest,
I'd be on the boat.
I was just
team.
thinking. She is so brave because I'm like great white shark, like, and you're petting it and it's pregnant. Like
she primarily swims with tiger sharks. So she wasn't petting it. She was keeping it at a distance. She got a lot of flack for that. They were like, you shouldn't be touching sharks. She was like, I'm giving it a birth as I'm swimming. So, or birth. Wide birth.
Like, yeah, we're going to stay 6 feet apart.
Different.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Is, like COVID times.
So that was kind of like what she was doing. And this was just like, okay, we're making sure because it's moving, I'm moving, that we're staying away from one another.
Yeah, this shark photo looks like you just messed up with the dimensions. It looks extremely
it looks like
rotund.
You're trying to AI a shark.
She's extremely pregnant.
So are you going to get into the like great white birth plan? Like, is it like one pup at a time, multiple? Because that's a big shark.
Do I talk about the great white one? That's a good question.
And I want to know how involved they are as parents.
My gut would say not.
They keep their babies around for a while. So I do talk about this next one. This is the sand tiger shark.
Oh, I mentioned that in my case.
Yes, you did. So this one is kind of fun because these are the ones that eat their live brothers and sisters in utero.
Oh, this is what I was thinking of. It was like, oh, do they eat inside? Okay.
So the mother has 2 uteruses.
What?
And well, most sharks do actually. They will have about 50 pups in each uterus at the same time. 12 months later, she will give birth to 2 pups.
Holy shit. So it's like survival of the fittest.
So she has 100 pups and then gives birth to 2.
1 out of each uterus.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, you wouldn't want to give birth to 100 probably.
No, probably not.
But that means that those are the most aggressive, strongest, badass babies because they've killed everyone else.
They've started their life by killing. The next one, this is a pregnant tiger shark here.
Okay.
These guys are also a little different. After the yolk is gone, the embryos eats the fluid within the intrauterine sacs that gives them nutrition. And this is the only species of shark that does this. But it seems to be highly effective as they can have litters from 45 to 60 pups at a time.
Holy moly.
A lot.
Yeah.
And that other little fish in the photo, that's not a baby, right? That's just like a little...
No, that's just like those fish
lamprey
that are always hanging around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sharks can take anywhere
midwife.
from 9 to 22 months to complete gestation. And this is a major reason why sharks are so vulnerable to overfishing, because it can be really hard for them to bring their populations back.
Yeah, it takes some time.
But which came first, the shark or the egg?
The egg, for sure.
Seems up for debate.
Really?
Some scientists think that sharks' ancestors may have been egg-bearing, while others believe it was live-bearing, only to later evolve to eggs to help the smaller species of sharks to rapidly produce. Arguments for live birth is that this already makes up about 60% of the shark's population now, and it doesn't seem like there would be a predominant method in their ancestors to be mainly laying eggs. Also, some of the longest known direct lineage is the cow sharks, and they have live births. Arguments for laying eggs, though, is that most ancient species, like the Cladocelas, which the one that I talked about earlier, they were egg-laying sharks. But scientists use this as proof that they all must have been oviparous then.
At some point.
But the bullhead sharks have a close, not direct, descendant of 240 million years ago, which they believe means that this that they must have laid eggs as well. So it's just kind of like they have reasons to believe one and they have reasons to believe the other, but we don't know if we'll ever really know, because it's not like you're going to find a shark egg fossil.
Yeah, no.
You can only really theorize based off the science.
Yeah. So they're like, well, if 60% of sharks give live birth, why would that be different back then? But then there's like that middle ground. So I don't know.
I just feel like that the egg just makes more sense to me to come first. But then, I mean, the fact that all sharks could go either way, like I find that weird itself. So then I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll
don't
probably never know until a time machine is made. But if
I'm almost
made,
back.
Almost on the time machine.
Yeah, I don't think I want to go back to this time.
It always
just
reminds
to,
me
with some binoculars from a boat that I can get back real quick.
It reminds me of the Simpsons episode, isn't it? When he goes back in time and walks on a little bug and then changes the whole whole future. That would be us for sure. I would like trip on something and be like, oh my god. Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to talk about some sharks that have a bad rap.
All of them?
So the top 3 at least.
Okay.
So we discussed before during the USS Indianapolis that the shark attack rate may have been grossly overestimated in some of these accidents. The USS Indy is not alone in being a shipwreck where a lot of people have died, but they can't really determine what people were already dead and which people weren't, which people they were just feeding on decaying bodies. And sharks are known to come to shipwrecks because they're like, commotion, food.
Yeah.
We smell something. Yep. It is still more likely that you would be struck by lightning. This is about 1 in 138,849 than to die from a shark attack, which is 1 in 3.7 million.
Damn.
There were 10 or 15, I found both numbers, fatal shark attacks last year in 2023. And this is way above the normal average of 5.
I wonder why.
Yeah, because that's what I was reading about a little bit on my episode, that they were up a lot, but they were saying it's not actually a concern. It's still within the averages. It's just like there could be numerous reasons.
Which literally the next sentence. But go ahead. Oh.
Yeah, one of my thoughts too is like, during COVID we couldn't travel as much, so maybe now people are traveling more. They're going out on
that is
vacations
huge.
and things like that.
Do you remember that dolphins swam back into Venice because there was no one in the water? So I mean, I feel like maybe sharks 2 to 3 years having all its open space got more comfortable going back to these places that normally would have humans, and now that we're more or less back to normal, they're like, what are you guys doing here? This is our place.
Yeah, exactly. Even since they said since Jaws was released that they have had more shark attacks recorded because they think people are just recording. They're just talking about it more. There's more fear, and maybe things might not have been recorded as much before this.
Yeah, Jaws didn't do a great job of standing up for sharks, but anyway,
no,
still a great movie, but
yeah. So a shark attack in any capacity, though, is influenced by various factors. Whether it's fatal or not. So location, human behavior, provoked, unprovoked, presence of sharks, normal prey at the time of the attack. Obviously, caution needs to be exercised when you're in a shark's known natural habitat, and even more so during, feeding time, feeding season, feeding time of day, mating seasons, all of that kind of stuff. Shark attacks also happen because sharks explore with their mouths, a lot like kids. I think we mentioned in another episode that bites are often considered exploratory. So it's just the shark's mouth is very large and, easy to hit a major artery. So this is why some attacks can be fatal. But they generally do not like to eat humans. We're too bony. We don't have enough fat on us. We also are extremely chemically different in fish and other marine mammals that they normally eat.
I'm sure we don't taste good. We don't have natural diets.
No,
maybe a vegan would taste good.
That wouldn't have enough fat on them, probably.
Grass-fed human. Here we go. And now the shark's like, all right.
Oh, yes. I was only going to eat organic. So it's we're just not something that they want, which is why you don't hear of people being eaten by a shark. They're bitten by
They love
sharks.
them whales, man.
Yeah. And they love them seals.
Yeah.
A great place to look actually to see some real statistics. I can't remember if you mentioned this in yours, Lindsay. It actually tells you whether it's considered a shark accident, attack, or incident, or questionable. Is you can go to something called, it's the International Shark Attack File or the Global Shark Attack File database, and you can bring them up. It gives you a great description of what happened. And what I found interesting when I was going through these was that even something like a laceration can be considered an unprovoked attack. So you can hear that there's 100 attacks a year, but it'll be a laceration, which means that a shark swam next to somebody, and because their skin is made up of these sharp denticles, it cuts them. And that is considered a shark attack.
I mean, attacks.
That's really could increase the numbers quite a bit.
I feel like sharks are being profiled big time.
Yeah,
I didn't know about that, Chantel. I think one of the things I looked at was more the provoked versus unprovoked, and if you're in even their area where you shouldn't be, that can be considered a provoked attack because it's you were right as that.
And it's also it's were you fishing and you accidentally caught one? Well, that's now a provoked attack, and there's a lot of things that can go into it.
What is the definition of unprovoked? Do you know? What
I think
what
unprovoked is literally you were just swimming, or you were just happened to be in the water and it came up.
If you're in their zone, the whole ocean is theirs, right? So
I know. So it's
I just don't know
on this database.
Threshold.
Yeah, on this database, they didn't consider just swimming in their area as being provoked. They considered that as unprovoked. The only time that they consider it provoked is they were fishing. Some of them were written down as questionable because it's was the person actually provoking this or not? Yeah. What was the exact circumstances? Because most people are self-reporting this, right? So it's also that. One of the reasons why they keep this on the database too is to kind of understand which sharks are in which area. And I think, didn't you mention this before at one point, Lindsay, or was it you, Megan, where bull sharks are hard to identify because they look so much like other sharks. So it's hard to tell what is actually a bull shark and what is a great white and things like that. They can know kind of because of certain areas, but it's difficult
Yeah, I didn't mention that, but I also like bull sharks tend to hunt in like murky waters, right? That's true. So it could be hard to just like know it was them based off just, I couldn't really see for sure. So and like, if you're being attacked, you might not necessarily
but also too just
what it looks like
being attacked.
Well, like I don't know, I think it was 6 feet, like it was big.
As a person, it's also your breadth of knowledge. If you don't know anything about sharks, but the only one you do know is a great white, because that's kind of the most popular one, you will just maybe assume, oh, it's a great white.
Yeah.
So it depends on your education too on shark species, which I don't have much.
It depends on like your area too. Like if it were off like Nova Scotia, for example, I'd be like, well, I know great whites can occasionally be seen there.
Yes.
Yeah, rarely,
I don't
but
think
they have
bull sharks are. So
No. So yeah, it is hard for some people to define like which one it actually was, but these databases do also, help them know what is anything changing with the migration patterns. Did somebody definitively see this one? Like all of this. So it was a pretty cool database to go on there and see. It literally looks like an Excel spreadsheet of just like information. So
you can put it in the comments maybe. So
yes. Well, I mean, I used it, so it'll definitely be in our references. But yeah, we can put it on the information on the YouTube video as well.
I feel like that website reminds me of one that I found that was about earthquakes, and you can like click on them on the map. And you just would just read about it. It didn't give you tons of info, but it's just interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I'm going to talk about the 3 top most dangerous, quote unquote, sharks and some facts about them.
Yay.
So coming in third most dangerous is this next guy on here. He is called a bull shark.
I like him.
They have a bite that can reach 1,350 pounds per square inch.
I take it back.
They are unique because
his mouth like doesn't, like, at least in this photo, look.
It doesn't look like it gets that big, right? Yeah.
It looks like little nibbles, but obviously
baby bite.
Sorry.
They are unique that they headbutt their prey as part of their hunting strategy, hence bull shark. Juveniles and newborns prefer fresh water, and this is where bull sharks go to give birth. They can live in both salt and fresh water because they are actually able to regulate the amount of salt in their system.
Now that is cool. Like I find that kind of, that's it.
They can
and
reach
also
speeds.
Now lakes aren't safe.
Yeah, nothing is safe. You're never safe.
For the summer, nowhere is safe. Sharks are everywhere. They're in your tub right now.
Yeah, it's fair. Don't take a bath. They can reach speeds of up to 25 kilometers per hour, so that's 15 miles per hour. They are listed
way faster than the megalodon. Just saying.
Yes.
These guys
are listed as
vulnerable
species due to humans fishing for their meat and oil.
Oh.
And they are an apex predator, and to lose them would wreak havoc on the ecosystem that they live in, including a major impact on local fisheries.
Wait, so we do need them?
Yes, we need all these sharks. So second most dangerous shark is the tiger shark, the next guy there. So
I mean, like the names kind of give it away.
Yeah. They are found.
I was just gonna say, like, he looks tigerish with the
little stripies.
So their stripes are even more pronounced. Thank you. When they are younger, and as they get older, they start to lose them a little bit. But this is definitely where they got their name from. Was their little stripies on their side.
It kind of reminds me of like that when light is shining through water, that kind of like wavy design. I'm sure that's probably something that they can be hiding, like when they're swimming. And that's why sharks.
Yeah, good point.
Actually, it's not just sharks, but you have a white underbelly because when you look up, they blend into the sky, and then they have a dark top because when you look down, they blend into the bottom. Science.
Science.
Yeah, that's evolution, baby.
Bam! You just got scienced.
I love it. So they are found in warmer waters and get up to about 5 meters, so 16 feet in length, and weigh 900 kilograms, so 2,000 pounds.
God, these guys are just so much bigger than I thought. I don't know what I thought.
I thought
the great white was the only big shark, and then
you thought baby shark, and now
I thought baby shark. Now we're
finding out we're a daddy shark.
Yeah, daddy.
They can live to be about 50 years old, and they have litters of up to 80 pups at once.
Oh my gosh.
They are most active at night, which is when they tend to hunt. So if you're more likely to get into an accident with one, it's actually like at nighttime. They are kind of like the garbage disposal of the sea because they will eat anything from crustaceans, fish, seals, birds, turtles, and even literal garbage has been found in their stomachs.
No, that's our fault.
So they're not picky eaters.
No. They're opportunistic.
Which as a mom, I kind of appreciate that trait in some ways.
Like kids, could you take a note from a tiger shark's book, please?
Yeah.
Do you guys
maybe
remember
be a little more open-minded?
Do you remember the little AI thing that I did for one of our cases where the shark was a really picky eater? So it's like the opposite. This is like the one where you make anything and he's like, oh, this is the best I've ever had.
Yeah, exactly. He loves it.
Yeah, if you're not at the best chef, just feed all your food to the bull shark.
Invite a tiger shark, and you'll feel like you are the best chef ever because he'll be like, yes, I'll eat it.
I'm making notes for future reels, by the way.
Yes, chef. They are considered to be near threatened because of finning and fishing by humans. Oh. If we were to lose the tiger sharks, it would be detrimental as they are known to prey on dugongs. And if they were not there to prey on dugongs, it's their only natural predator because they're huge, they could potentially overeat the grass, causing irreparable ecological impacts on carbon levels in the water. Their presence has also certain migration influences on other animals, and their extinction could change these factors and affect the ecosystem as well.
Holy shit, man. We're hanging on by a thread, man.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And the number one most dangerous shark, our buddy, the great white. They are
He looks smiley in this photo.
I know. He looks so happy.
Yeah.
They are the largest predatory fish on Earth, reaching up to 7 meters, so 23 feet in length, and can live to be 70 years old.
Oh my God, that is so old.
Grandpa shark age.
Yes,
for sure.
This is we're gonna get to Grandpa Shark, but this is we're getting there.
Yeah. I don't want to ruin it, but are you gonna talk about the shark that I hope you're gonna talk about?
You know I'm gonna talk about that.
Okay,
shark.
thank God. Okay, I was like so excited. Okay, good.
They are found in all major oceans. The highest population is found in the USA. They can swim up to 65 kilometers per hour, so that's 35 miles per hour.
Holy
and
shit.
As Megan mentioned before, they often surprise their prey from below, which is why you can have so many like great breach photos of these great white sharks as they come out of the water to eat their prey.
Yeah.
They have been seen in pairs, suggesting that they are a more social species of sharks, and this is not common in sharks at all to be with other sharks. They are listed as vulnerable. Can you guys guess why?
Because of humans?
Fishermen kill them, yeah.
And they are the only natural predator is the killer whale.
Which is all whales. We mentioned this before. Whales are up to some stuff. Something is going on with whales.
With the whales.
And I
actually read something recently about that, so I will be covering
I'm all about whales taking back the ocean. And I mean, like, I don't want... I appreciate them, but just like humans have just done so much shit. So like, you know what, whales, do what you gotta do.
And I just want you guys to also really take this in. There are hundreds of different shark species. And those are basically the 3 that you're most likely to hear about an injury from. So when you really take that in, sharks are not that.
When you do the math,
and sharks are really chill. They're not interested in even tasting
fish. Yeah, most of the sharks
just
are
bumping
like
around.
They're just having a great time, and they look like they're soft. These ones are not soft. They look like they're scary.
Yeah.
And
they look like they have a soft, cute little underbelly, but they don't. They don't do that.
You don't want a little tickle.
And then I would get murdered by a shark. I think you had mentioned something about the, you're more likely to get hit by lightning. I think you're even more likely to get like hurt by a cow. Like a cow would kill you.
So I did have a bunch of these stats, but I was like, I'll just leave it at the lightning because like there are so many more like regular everyday things that you're more likely to be hurt by. But then obviously you got to take everything into vending machine is like the worst. There's also not the worst actually, but it's up there. But
what is the worst?
You got to take into heart attack, but like
that's not funny. Okay.
But you got to take into account like, where do people spend more of their time? If they're more likely to be around cows, they're more likely to die from a cow than they are from a shark. So like there's a lot of like varying degrees of these statistics. Obviously, if you're spending more time on land, yes, you're more likely to get hit by lightning. But I mean, lightning can happen in the water too. But
makes a lot of sense.
I fucked up. So I was supposed to give a shout out to Steph on episode 20. So, hey girl, so sorry. You are the best. Steph has been a friend of mine for a long time, and she is an avid listener. She's like an emo goth rock chick, Martha Stewart.
Oh
I
yeah,
think that kind
that's
of
a great
describes.
way of describing her. Actually,
The food that she makes is like from, I say a magazine, like magazines aren't even really a thing, but like the food that she makes is not only delicious but beautiful, and you want to jump into the photo to be there.
You do.
But she's also like this kind of badass, like tattoo, cool death metal. Oh, she's just the best.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so
I
I'm
want to try
so-
her food now and meet her.
My God,
Yeah.
get in line. Well,
I think I met her before.
She was at
You
the
did.
wedding.
You at the
one
wedding,
time
yeah.
ago. There was a lot going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
she's just the best. And actually, Jenna too listens. Jenna is also phenomenal. She does make some good food, but Steph is like on this different level. Anywho, so that was our little Steph friend segment. Hey,
Well,
if you guys
my
are nice
friend
to us,
Steph actually has
More-
also
more
started
Stephs.
listening. So another Steph, and her and her
Oh.
husband started listening on their road trip.
that is
last
so
week,
cute on a
and
road trip.
she
Oh,
said
I love that.
They,
I feel
they
honored.
both said they love our podcast and they thought we were hilarious. So I'm like, oh, thanks. So,
Amazing. Oh,
I
that's so
haven't
cute.
met a
That was
Steph
very
that I
sweet.
didn't like. Stephs
Yeah,
are just
same.
Stephs are great.
Same.
yeah, they're great.
Okay, well, we love you guys and thank you for supporting us and commenting on things, and because that always
Thank
helps with
you.
the algorithm as well, which is I think that was Steph's first time commenting was today,
Yeah.
and she was like, first time commenter. We are like, oh, thank you. You listened to what we asked for in the episode.
And yeah, it seems so like so insane to say this, but even like little comments like, you know, hey, that was cool, that was nice, or a little question, it really does help. So if you feel
Totally.
inclined, we would love that. But even if you just listen, thank you. That means a lot too. Love you all. Even if your name is not Steph, we still love you.
Okay, I'm gonna get back to sharks because we do have a time crunch here.
Sharks. Go ahead,
okay.
sharks.
So I just want to go over some interesting species that still are around because, you know, once again, I like these, so I want to go through them. So the next photo here is of the hammerhead shark. I mean, how can you not talk about the hammerhead shark? Because, like, look at them. Like,
feel
how
like
is
we
this a real animal,
They don't come up
Really
enough
like
in
hammerhead
day-to-day
sharks.
conversation. He's just
They-
the coolest.
right? So this one is called a scalloped hammerhead because you can see how the kind of shape looks scalloped in the front there. Yeah.
Fancy.
I
the
thought you would just
shape-
bumped into something. I didn't know it was like part of
Well, what's interesting is that their head shape is thought to help them with detection of electric fields in the water that helps them to hunt and gives them a near 360-degree field of vision, their only blind spot being directly in front of them. And they will use their head to pin down stingrays and other prey to tire them out until they can eat them.
That's smart.
They're like, we'll
Yeah.
play the long game. We don't mind. Like,
Yeah.
we got this. So
And they are viviparous and can have anywhere between 2 to 42 live births at once. And they are the
42, very
youngest.
specific.
Holy
Yes.
shit.
They are the youngest living group of sharks.
Oh, they're the little babies. They're
They're
like the new
the
kids on the
baby of
block.
sharks. Yeah.
They're the baby shark. Dude,
And you want to know what else is really cool about them is that they are omnivores. So while primarily their diet is stingrays, which they've been adapted to be immune to the stingray barbs,
smart.
they have also been known to feed on seagrass.
Aw.
Yeah.
I like these guys.
it's really, yeah.
I never would have thought to hear that a shark is an omnivore,
No.
Yeah, I
Wow.
did not know that.
right?
I mean, what's a little
our next-
salad with the main course? Maybe. I don't know.
Exactly, right? Everybody loves a salad with dinner.
Sometimes you just want like a
Yeah.
light day. Maybe you like ate a lot of fried food. And
Exactly.
you're like, I just want to have like
Yeah,
some
I
greens.
had too many French fries yesterday. I have to have a salad. I had too many seal blubbers yesterday. I need to have a salad today.
Wow. So are they the only shark that does that? They said.
Yeah, that I could
The only
find.
omnivore?
That I found
Wow.
that was an actual omnivore.
They're so, and they're also the
pretty cool.
youngest. So I
Yeah.
wonder. I mean,
Maybe
we
it's
won't be
something that they
alive.
started to adapting to.
Oh,
Yeah.
again, probably
true.
it's the human's fault. But anyway.
Maybe. So the next one, my loves.
Oh,
whale
yes.
shark.
This is your favorite.
The gentle giant of the sea.
And beautiful, like a work of art.
Very beautiful.
So
Yeah.
beautiful. So I know it was impressive to learn how big the megalodon could possibly get, but did you know that the whale shark is only 8 feet smaller at a whopping 18 meters, so 60 feet long?
Holy shit. No, I did not know that.
Wow. Oh my. I knew it was
And
long.
big animal.
but-
Yeah. And considering that these guys are filter feeders, that's pretty amazing that they get this big. So they can be as much as 27,000 kilograms. So that's 60,000 pounds. But on average, they are about 9,000 to 9,000 kilograms. So 20,000 pounds, the average. But they can get huge.
I mean, whale shark is a great way to describe them because they're filter feeders and they're massive.
So some studies suggest that they can live to be up to 100 years old, but the consensus is that their lifespan is about 70.
Okay. Wow. I thought 100. I mean, 70 is a lot for an animal, but 100 is insane.
Which normally the bigger the animal, the shorter their lifespan. But for some reason, we're getting
it's the same thing with big breed dogs.
So primarily they feed on, they eat 66 pounds of food a day, which consists of krill, jellyfish, crab larvae, plankton, sardines, anchovies, basically anything small that doesn't require chewing. They just filter it in their mouth and they eat it.
That's so cute.
That's
these animals,
a lot of food though.
Yeah.
66 pounds.
What's cool is that they reach sexual maturity at 30 years old and are an amazing example of ovoviviparity, and they can carry as many as 300 embryos at different stages of development at one time between their two uterus.
No wonder they need all that food.
Yeah, they're doing the
eating
most.
for 300.
Yeah. Guys, I'm eating for 301 right now. Okay?
But you look so good. You're glowing.
Okay, so that's my favorite. That is my ultimate life goal.
I could look at the shark forever.
Same.
So why don't, since you're very passionate, why don't you describe, if someone doesn't know what a whale shark looks like?
It has these beautiful spots all over it. It has kind of like a flat head where it opens up its mouth and it's just this filter, kind of like what you would see, I guess, on a whale, but then still has the shark-like essence to the body with its pectoral fins and its dorsal fin. And it's just marvelous and huge. And I just want to touch it. I just want to be next to it.
It kind of reminds me of when you were at camp or like a cottage.
Yeah, they're not crazy fast.
When you get like a flat rock and you do like the painting technique of like making dots, you know, like to put yeah, that's what it reminds me of. But it's not. It looks very like specific. Like they're not just spot like a cow would be. It almost looks like someone painted this on purpose.
It's almost like in a pattern. Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
How does a whale shark
very
go?
beautiful.
Whale shark swim. I'm curious now because that's the one thing I didn't write down. Oh yeah, only 3 miles per hour.
Oh, they're just cruising on
catch
Sunday.
up to him.
Yeah. I think I bike faster than that. I know I bike faster than that.
Do you swim faster than that?
No, probably not.
I love this. Such a cute
So the
guy.
next guy, Megan, you know what it is.
This is the most famous shark in the shark world after Bruce from Jaws.
This is
Yes,
the real
it is.
grandpa shark.
Yes, this is the real grandpa shark. So this is the Greenland shark. And their direct ancestors are 100 million years old. So
That's
they've
how
been
old
around
this
for
guy
a
looks.
while. Meaning
I
they
know,
haven't
he
changed
looks-
in 100 million years.
Like, yeah.
God, like,
And like, is he even alive? Like he
Oh, he
it
looks
like
totally
his
like a
eye
corpse,
is
right?
Just
yeah.
He's been gone for a while.
Barely hanging on.
He needs cataract surgery.
Oh, for sure.
He needs a good salt scrub.
We're going to get into the eyes, actually.
Oh,
This is very
okay.
interesting.
Cool. I'm so glad you're
So
covering
first-
this
Grandpa
grandpa
shark.
shark. Fascinating.
Yeah.
So first I have some sad facts about it. They were
Oh,
overfished
God, okay.
during World War II and haven't really recovered in population. This is due to the fact that they are slow to reach sexual maturity. It takes them approximately 150 years to reach sexual maturity.
Hold
Oh wow. No wonder they. That's crazy. Yeah.
on. I did not think you were going to say that.
Yeah, 150 years.
Can you imagine being 150? It's like, well, I think I'm ready to start dating now.
Getting some pimples now. I'm already.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's,
When you said that one of the sharks was at age 30, I'm like, okay, some people take their, I think average is like mid-teens. And, you know, I find that kind of young for me. 30s, like, that's not really average. But I'm like, okay, you know what? They live to be 70. They're a shark, whatever. 150
years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
During World War II, as many as 30,000 were caught for their liver oil. because this had many uses during the time. So it'd be used in vitamin A production, which was thought to help soldiers with their night vision, a lubricant for machinery, leather treatments on military gear, as well as in cosmetics.
Cosmetics. We don't need that. So these guys must be like
and it's specifically
endangered.
their shark oil that was the best. Is that, or maybe it's easier to catch them?
There was just so many of them. There were a lot of them, and they're very easy to catch, which you'll find out why in a minute.
Slow and old. And they don't know what's going on.
I will tell you how slow they are.
Oh.
So they were also seen as a threat to fisheries in 1970s in Norway. So they were being caught and killed quite often.
That's so sad.
Still today, they are caught as what's called a bycatch by fisheries, and they do not know the survival rate of the ones that are caught and discarded.
This is so sad.
But here's some cool facts about the ancient giants.
Yeah.
Okay.
On average, they are about 5 meters or 16 feet in length, which is a real feat on its own, considering that they are said to only grow at about 1 centimeter per year.
But they are so crazy.
They can get up to 6.5 meters and can weigh between 400 to 1,400 kilograms. So that's 800 to 3,090 pounds.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
They have a very, very slow metabolism, which is partly because they live in the depths. They like to be in the cold. So they're just slow.
And they don't need as
they're
much
slow
food
in every
to
way.
live. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just slow.
The oldest one that has been found is aged somewhere between 272 to 512 years old. And I will tell you why there's such a big gap there.
What in the hell?
They say that she's likely about 400 years old, which means that she was born somewhere in the 1600s.
That's insane.
They had to determine her age in a special manner using
They didn't ask her,
radiocarbon.
because that's so rude.
That's rude. You can't just ask.
shouldn't
yeah,
ask.
someone heard their
So
age.
they used So they use radiocarbon dating. Most fish have ear bones that form rings, kind of like a tree, and that's how they're able to age certain fish. But Greenland sharks are extremely soft fish and have no hard body parts. Because sometimes they use vertebrae and like whales and things like that to find it, but they don't even have that to be able to do this.
Okay.
So even some sharks have that as well. They start to build up the little bit of this.
How are these guys even held together?
Hope and a prayer. But 3 Danish scientists use a protein in the eyes found crystallines. These proteins do not undergo any recycling or replenishment, and they stay constant from birth. So it's not exact because the amount of carbon-14 in water is not as well known as it is on Earth. So it's harder to carbon date animals from the water. But they know if they knew where the shark was born as well, they'd be able to get a bit closer, but they're pretty darn close, knowing that it's probably likely around 400 years old.
That is insane to me.
Yes.
So that's probably, is this,
Yeah.
do you think it would probably pass soon? Is that like the oldest they got approximately? Or
they're guessing. I think they guess about 400, like around 400 years old is the average lifespan. But they don't know for sure.
It's the average. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to think. This is probably the oldest living animal or like on Earth.
It
right?
is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the oldest living vertebrae, I think it is. Yeah.
Okay.
So they have a
The
nickname
history
of
lessons this
sleeper
guy
sharks.
or this girl could teach.
Right? He has seen
was
some
like,
shit.
I was there.
Yeah.
Here's how it went
Yeah.
down.
They're nicknamed sleeper sharks because they are extremely slow moving and they're not really fussed by anything that goes near them. They really don't care. They're just kind of like, I'm just here.
They're like, I've seen it all
like
before.
sloths.
Can you wild guess what they're clocked at?
Wait, what was the other whale shark? You said it was 3 miles.
3 miles per hour.
I'm gonna
You're
say
close.
I'm gonna say half a mile.
Half
per
a
hour.
mile?
0.68. 0.68 miles per hour. So that's 1.1 kilometers. I actually had to figure this out
1 kilometer
because
per hour.
they had it in feet per second because that was like the way that they measured them because they're so slow. It was feet per
Also,
second.
the walking speed of a toddler, if you don't know. Takes a while to
Yes.
get anywhere.
So this would be like going on a walk with your toddler.
Wow. I love these guys so much.
Yeah. They are generally found at depths of about 2,200 meters, which if you remember
Whoa.
from the Mariana Trench episode and when the Megalodon, it's cold down there.
Yeah. Hence the slow metabolism.
Yeah. So they actually have high levels of chemicals that act like antifreeze in their system. And this also has the effect of making their flesh extremely toxic to humans if it were to be eaten.
Well, good.
Yeah.
That's right.
They like the cold, and they tend to be in shallower waters in the winter and deeper in the summer to stay in this cold zone.
That sounds like me, honestly.
It is you. And they eat anything they can find. Fish, seals. They're
just
found
so
reindeer
non-picky.
and even polar bears in their stomach contents.
Second.
But how do
They
they
don't
capture
hunt
any
them.
of these going?
They're not
this
hunting
slow?
them.
Okay.
It's carcasses that are found. They just eat kind of like what's around.
Okay. That
Yeah.
makes a lot more because
They try to float into food.
Yeah, basically they're like, they bump into something. They're like, can I eat it?
Did
Okay,
you
yeah, I'll
talk
eat
about their teeth and if they have any?
I did not talk about their teeth. They must, because they're still able to eat certain things, but they just don't tend to attack. There has never been an attack on humans from a Greenland shark.
Yeah. Also, humans are
wonder
in this
if
cold water, right? Where they
Yeah, they're not
normally
that deep.
No. But I mean, like where they are found a lot around fisheries and stuff, like there haven't
Yeah.
even been a provoked attack.
Well,
Yeah.
because you'd see them coming a mile away and you'd have just as much time
You just
to
have to
get out of the
swim
water.
slightly faster.
Yeah. Just a little doggy paddle. Wow. I love
So
this, guys.
they are oviviparous, and this comes at a high cost to the mom energy-wise. Once the young have finished consuming their 8 sacs, the mom then produces the nutritious liquid that is rich in fats and proteins in her uterus that the pups get through their mouths and gills. And they can have up to 10 pups at a time.
Oh, wow.
So I have one last thing to talk about. This is just an honorable mention. So it's not actually a shark, but it's called a ghost shark. I just thought they were
so
really
creepy.
fucking cool.
Yeah.
So they are called a chimera, and they are another cartilaginous fish, cartilaginous fish, but they are not a shark, but they have a common ancestors, but veered off about 420 million years ago.
You say that like it's so like recent.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah.
They're closer in look to the cladosalash, which is one of the first ones. Yeah. And they also don't have any scales. So that's kind of where they think that it kind of veered off in the evolutionary system.
They're beautiful looking. Like
They're really cool. I think they kind of look like they belong on Tron. Like, I think that this would be like
I could see that.
The eye is
It looks like someone got that
dark and mysterious.
like what's it called? Like the neon paint and like did highlights.
Yeah,
the
so
eye is creepy. But
I can't
cool still.
remember. I read something about the eye. I can't remember what it is now because I didn't go into too much detail. I just wanted to kind of like bring out this guy because he just looked really cool. His pectoral fins are obviously much longer than regular sharks, and they're like attached in a different way, and so you can kind of see why they're a little bit different. But they still have that long tadpole-ish tail, like the ancient sharks did. So and they have a dorsal fin, but it's not quite the same. Anyways, and like it got this like weird front head, like a shoe.
Yeah. It looks almost like he was broken and someone glued him back together with like these different parts.
Yes, like a porcelain shark.
Yeah. It reminds me of like a skull because the eyes are so black. It's almost like when you see a skull, and it's giving me like Cubone, like from Pokemon.
Oh, yes.
I was trying to think of some type of reference.
Why does this look so familiar?
Actually, I think when I first got this, I did say he looks like he should be a Pokemon, and then I forgot to put that in my notes. So yeah, thank you.
There you go. You're welcome. And the photo itself, I would infer from the photo that they're probably a deep water fish because the photo is completely black.
Yeah.
Except for the flash that probably is highlighting
deeper. It's not crazy deep for this guy, I don't think.
Okay.
But it's obviously past like the sunlight zone. So yeah.
Very, very cool.
Anyways, that's it for today. That's my sharks. That's sharks.
Great job.
And that ends our Shark Weeks /month/weeks.
Because they weeks.
Well, I learned a lot today. So thank you, Chantel.
No problem.
Excellent.
I really enjoyed doing this one because I love sharks, and yeah, it was so fascinating learning about the history and how old they are and how much they've survived, and like maybe humans are going to be the one to ruin it all for them because like of course we would, but
that's just what we do.
Not
Imagine surviving millions of years and then humans come along.
5 mass extinctions.
Yes,
and then humans are like, we got you, bro.
We are really good at doing that. I really appreciate the wide variety of shark types and how some are super aggressive, some are tiny, some are just going at literally tricycle speed, just floating through. And especially I mean, most have a similar look, but really some look so completely different. Like a whale shark next to a great white, they look nothing alike.
Like, how would
They
you
have
think
that
they're
same,
even the
underwater
same species? Like,
I probably wouldn't. And just wow. Very, very cool.
I guess when you've been around for that many millions of years, there's, like you said, there's so many offshoots,
So many branches.
things evolved, and it's really fascinating.
yeah.
Well,
and I guess
and
it just
even too
depends
that
like
they're all-
which family member lasted the extinction and which didn't,
Yeah.
which probably is what's giving us such like a wide variety of them, because it's like, okay, well these guys survived and these guys survived, and like this genius did and this genius didn't, but well,
And the way that they give birth, that half of them give birth one way and half the other.
and half a mix.
I'm going to do both, but like at the same time.
Yeah, I didn't really know that. I guess I kind of thought they all had just like their mermaid purses and they hatched.
Yeah,
so
I
that
don't
was cool.
think I knew that live pups were expelled. I don't know if I knew that.
Yeah, I
It's
knew that
just
there
a
were
lot.
live pups, but it's I didn't know that there was live pups without the eggs inside. So I knew that there was like the mix where they had eggs inside of them versus eggs outside of them, but I didn't know that there was also ones that are just straight up like, no, we just give live birth and there's no eggs involved.
Cool.
Yeah.
So after all that, the whale shark is still your favorite.
Oh, yes. I mean, I love the Greenland shark because like it just seems like he's so dopey and like old and cool.
I know.
And like I just want to, like ask him about history. But I listen to him tell your stories while you sit on his lap. But
I think when I was little, I always liked the hammerhead shark because I just thought it was so cool.
yeah.
But the whale shark is beautiful.
Yeah.
Stunning.
I think
Probably
definitely
the
most
prettiest
beautiful.
shark.
Yeah.
Lindsay, is that your favorite too, or do you have a different one?
That's what I was just thinking about. I
Wait,
kind of.
she's coming back. She's coming back.
My wife.
Thank God it waited this long.
I know.
But
Sending Lindsay good internet energy. There we go.
yeah, why don't you tell us yours, Megan? Oh, I think.
Wait, are you back?
I'm good. Yeah, I just don't. Megan's
Okay,
not.
now you're
Okay.
back. Okay,
There-
okay.
There was a
Okay.
huge delay where you were frozen and we didn't hear a word you said. So
yeah.
Well,
what-
then
so
you
what
were
is your
frozen, but
favorite shark?
Chantel wasn't. Okay, so I think my favorite shark, if I had to pick one, I might go back to my hammerhead shark roots, just because I always liked it as a kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, it's really tough to say. I think all the sharks you talked about today are pretty cool. Definitely like pretty wise whale shark, but I think I'll just pick the hammerhead shark to be a little different.
There we go. I did used to
feel-
like the hammerhead too when I was a kid. Because I just was like they're
Yeah.
cool looking. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the hammerhead shark doesn't get enough press.
Maybe
I
not.
don't think so either.
I don't know. I mean, the great white's a classic. You know what? I'm going to say the megalodon.
Okay.
Go, girl. Yeah,
You
that's
go.
Not biased or anything, but it's
No, I mean, but in general, they're all just they're so interesting. The hammerhead shark and the whale shark are two of the most unique looking sharks for sure. I just love them all, and I'm now really inspired to watch like Jaws. And then remember that old cartoon? It was animated, and there were sharks, but they were like wearing leather jackets and had on jeans.
Oh, not biker sharks. Oh my God.
That's
I was about to
Biker
say
Mice from
Biker Mice
Mars.
from Mars. Oh my God.
Someone out there screaming that they know.
I know.
I know. We'll put the picture up.
Yeah, I'm gonna find. Okay, I'm gonna say shark cartoon 90s, and then I'll find it. Well, listen, that was freaking
Street sharks.
phenomenal.
I found
Street
it.
sharks.
There you go.
Right.
Because they were so cool. They're from the streets.
Yeah.
Does someone have a favorite shark that's listening that maybe we didn't cover? Like, let us know, and that could be a standalone case. If Chantel, I'm sure would be jumping
Yeah,
all
we
over
can do a
that,
little
so.
short about it or something.
Yeah, that
you know?
too.
Yeah.
And just so you know, Lindsay, hammerhead sharks are not aggressive either. Their mouths are so small that they're like more suited for like eating fish, so they're not really aggressive towards humans at all because we're just like impossible for them.
Don't know if I've really heard about hammerhead shark attacks, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
If you recall from Finding Nemo, when the sharks run into Marlin and Dory, they're all vegetarians, and one is a hammerhead.
Yeah.
But then the great white is the one that gets tempted, which is like that kind of makes sense.
Maybe the hammerhead is more likely to be vegetarian since he does sometimes eat seagrass.
Oh,
There you go.
Nemo wasn't that far off.
Coming together. No, I feel like Pixar does a great job, especially like that movie, of us getting all the marine life down and the personalities. Like I can see an angelfish actually being like Willem Dafoe. I'm pretty sure that's who it is. That makes sense to me.
The great white
that
definitely
was
seems to be
awesome.
portrayed most often. Like even the baby shark
time.
thing, it looks like it's based off great white shark.
Probably right.
Oh yeah, well, because they
yeah,
are kind
just-
of like the most famous. if
They're
you really think about
iconic,
it.
right?
Yes,
They are.
Yes.
Man, that was so cool. I'm gonna miss Shark Month.
Yeah, me too. Actually,
Well, next year we'll do more
we can
sharks.
Yeah, we'll have to come
Okay.
up with all new shark facts.
That's I feel like there's tons out there.
Yeah, I
and
think we'll be
maybe by
okay.
that time Chantel's finally swam with sharks, and she'll have firsthand experience.
Yeah, or maybe we'll know even more about the Greenland shark, and we can come up with some more information about them.
I love
Yeah.
the Greenland shark so much.
They'll be like, we found one that was born in the year 10. And
God, I would believe it now, knowing that sharks are essentially dinosaurs. So
yeah, they are older
Yeah.
than dinosaurs. They
they're
are
older
the
than
dinosaur.
trees. They're older than trees. That makes
Yeah.
no sense.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, this is awesome. So listen.
Okay.
Great job.
Thanks.
Awesome job, Chantal.
Thanks for listening. Okay. I think that's how we end it, right? How do we end these things? Why is this
Yeah.
always the most awkward part?
There's not enough shark puns to go up on a high note and be like, shark pun, you know?
No.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I
Google
mean,
that
thanks
next
for
time.
listening, everyone.
That's it.
And that's all we got today. So see you next week.
See you
See
then.
you next week. Sorry, I did that last time so bad. Bye. I mean, right now, bye.
We love you. Bye.
Thank you for listening today. We loved having you. If you liked the episode, share with your friends, family, or anyone who would enjoy it. Also, take a minute to review the Coast Files podcast on Apple Podcasts or YouTube. Leaving us a comment or like really helps. You can email us at coastfilespod@gmail.com, follow us on Instagram at coastfilespod, or visit our website at www.coastfiles.com. You can find the sources for today's episode on our website. See you next week with a new episode.